Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we don't just scratch the surface, we plunge into the heart of what you need to know. Today we're tackling a challenge that resonates with so many of us, and we're doing it with a bold, intriguing promise. Imagine not just improving, but significantly boosting your English fluency in just 15 days. That's 2 weeks. For anyone feeling like their English skills are plateauing, or who simply craves a rapid, tangible leap forward, this deep dive is specifically crafted for you.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling here is the assertion that substantial progress is not only possible but achievable within such a concentrated time frame. But, only if the strategy is meticulously structured and diligently followed. While genuine fluency is, let's be honest, a continuous journey, our source material makes a powerful case that a significant uplift across crucial areas like vocabulary breadth, speaking confidence, listening comprehension, and the mastery of core grammar is absolutely within your grasp in just 15 days of focused, intelligent effort. It's really about optimizing every single moment for maximum linguistic gain.
And to guide us on this intensive linguistic sprint, we've extracted the most impactful insights and actionable steps from a fascinating blueprint titled 15-Day English Fluency Boost, a structured plan. Think of this deep dive as your express lane, your shortcut to understanding a truly clever and intensive approach to accelerated language learning. We're going to start by laying down some crucial, non-negotiable foundational principles, the bedrock, if you will. Then we'll embark on an exciting day-by-day breakdown of activities, meticulously designed to build upon each other. And finally, we'll equip you with an indispensable toolkit of resources and enduring tips to ensure that momentum doesn't just last for 15 days, but propels you far beyond.
Indeed. And we're not merely presenting a checklist of tasks here. This deep dive is about providing a comprehensive, strategic roadmap. It's designed to give you a clear, actionable pathway forward, making sure that every ounce of your effort is channeled efficiently towards truly impactful linguistic growth.
So, whether you're eyeing that crucial international meeting next month, preparing to navigate a new English-speaking environment, or maybe you just have an insatiable curiosity about how to truly accelerate language acquisition, this deep dive is your definitive guide. It's your opportunity to be incredibly well-informed on what it actually takes to rapidly improve your language skills. Okay, let's stop just talking about it and truly unpack this incredible roadmap to English mastery. Right, so before we even glance at the day-by-day schedule, our source material makes something abundantly clear. This isn't just a collection of tips. There are non-negotiable foundations, a set of core principles that you absolutely must adopt for this 15-day boost to truly work. Think of these not as suggestions, but as the bedrock upon which all rapid improvement is built. Without these, well, even the best daily plan will struggle.
Precisely. You can almost view these as the operating system for your entire language learning endeavor. Imagine trying to run complex software on an outdated or incompatible system. It simply won't perform optimally, right? These foundational ideas are designed to maximize your brain's capacity for language acquisition. If they're not firmly in place, even the most rigorous daily plan will likely fall short of its full potential. And that often leads to frustration and burnout rather than genuine progress.
Okay, and the first one might actually challenge some conventional wisdom about learning. It's all about consistency over duration. The plan strongly emphasizes that even a focused 2 to 3 hours a day, done every single day, is exponentially more powerful than, say, one really long, sporadic 10-hour session once a week. It truly isn't about how long you study in one sitting, but how regularly you engage with the language.
This point is absolutely critical, and it's rooted deeply in cognitive science. If we connect this to the bigger picture, consistency isn't just about building good habits. It's about building and reinforcing neural pathways in your brain. When you engage with English daily, even for shorter bursts, you're constantly reactivating those language centers. This aids memory retention through what we call spaced repetition, where your brain revisits information at increasing intervals, strengthening the memory trace each time.
Spaced repetition. I've heard of that.
Exactly. Think of it like a path through a forest. If you walk it every day, it becomes a clear, well-trodden route. If you only walk it once a month, the undergrowth quickly takes over and you have to hack your way through it every time. Daily engagement builds momentum, prevents the start-stop cycle that so often derails learners, and capitalizes on the compounding effect of consistent practice. Each small, regular effort compounds, leading to truly significant gains over a concentrated period, which is precisely what our listener, the learner, needs for efficient, rapid improvement.
That analogy of the forest path really brings it home. It's
Yeah.
kind of like working out, isn't it? A little bit of consistent effort every day beats one marathon session once a month, which often just leads to injury or, giving up. Okay, next up, we have a principle that can feel daunting but is incredibly effective. Immersion is key. This tells us we need to surround ourselves with English constantly. Now, for many listeners, the immediate thought might be, well, that sounds great, but I don't live in an English-speaking country, so how practical is that for me?
That's a very common and valid concern, and it raises an important question. How can listeners achieve true immersion without physically being in London or New York? The plan directly addresses this by suggesting you actively create an English bubble, right where you are, using your existing environment. This involves both passive and active exposure. Passive might mean having English news, music, or a podcast playing softly in the background while you go about your day. You're not necessarily actively listening, but your brain is still picking up the rhythms and sounds.
Okay, like soaking it in passively.
Right. And active immersion, on the other hand, means deliberately choosing English for your entertainment. Switching your phone or computer language to English, watching movies or TV series with English audio, reading English books or news, and even seeking out local English-speaking groups or events, if possible. The human brain is incredibly adaptable. It shows remarkable neuroplasticity. When it's continuously exposed to a language, it begins to identify patterns, decipher meaning from context, and integrate sounds and structures much more efficiently, often without explicit conscious effort all the time. You're essentially tricking your brain into operating within the target language, creating an environment where it has to process English.
So you don't actually need to move across the globe. You can bring that global English environment to you through media, technology, and just deliberate choices. That's a truly empowering thought. Our third principle is another game changer, and it's crucial for shifting your learning paradigm: output-input. The core idea here is that actively practicing using English through speaking and writing is fundamentally more important, more effective, than just passively consuming it through listening and reading. Here's where it gets really interesting: the idea that actively producing the language is more vital than just taking in information.
What's truly fascinating here is the emphasis on active recall and creation. And this is scientifically proven to enhance both memory retention and genuine fluency. Many traditional language learning methods, they heavily prioritize input. Learners spend countless hours reading grammar books, listening to lectures, consuming media, but they often neglect the crucial step of actually producing the language themselves. Think of it this way. You can read every book about cycling, watch every YouTube tutorial, but until you get on the bike and start pedaling, you haven't truly learned to cycle.
Well, that's a great analogy.
Active production, whether speaking or writing, forces your brain to engage in complex processes. It has to retrieve and organize information, select appropriate vocabulary, apply grammar rules in real time, and then articulate those thoughts. This is the difference between merely recognizing a word when you see it, that's your receptive vocabulary, and being able to spontaneously use it correctly and confidently in a sentence, your productive vocabulary. This active engagement solidifies learning far more effectively and makes the language truly yours in a way that passive reception never really could.
It's a bit like learning to cook by reading recipes versus actually getting into the kitchen, making a mess and, tasting your creations. You have to get your hands dirty. Or, in this case, your mouth moving and your pen writing. And speaking of getting a little messy, the final core principle is perhaps the most liberating one. It can remove a huge psychological barrier from many learners. Don't fear mistakes. It makes it abundantly clear that errors are not failures. They are absolutely essential steps in your learning journey. So consider this your official permission slip. Make as many mistakes as you need to.
This truly is a fundamental shift in perspective that every language learner needs to internalize. Mistakes aren't just tolerated, they're essential feedback loops for growth. In the field of language acquisition, we talk about interlanguage. This is essentially the learner's unique, evolving linguistic system, a bridge they construct between their native language and the target language as they learn. For example, a common interlanguage error for, say, a Spanish speaker might be saying, "I have 20 years," instead of "I am 20 years old." Directly translating, tengo 20 años.
Right. I heard things like that.
Exactly. And that error isn't a failure, it's a data point. It tells the learner, or maybe a tutor, that the concept of age expression in English needs more attention. By reframing errors as valuable data points, opportunities to understand exactly where your knowledge gaps are and what needs refinement, learners can overcome the often paralyzing psychological barrier of perfectionism. That fear of saying something wrong often hinders progress more than the actual errors themselves. You simply cannot learn to speak a language fluently without making errors. It's an inherent and necessary part of the evolutionary process of your interlanguage. Embrace them, analyze them, and learn from them. I love that idea of mistakes as data points. It completely reframes how you look at those moments of stumbling, turning them into actionable insights. So, armed with these 4 powerful mindset principles, that's consistency, immersion, output, input, and embracing mistakes, we've laid that crucial groundwork. Now we're truly ready to dive into the actual 15-day English improvement plan itself. Now that we've firmly established those crucial mindset and core principles, let's explore the heart of our deep dive, the 15-day English improvement plan itself. And like you said, this isn't just a random assortment of tasks. It's a meticulously structured journey, carefully broken down into 4 distinct phases. Each phase has its own specific goal, and they progressively build upon each other, guiding you from activating foundational knowledge all the way to confident, active performance.
Indeed. This phased approach is a testament to effective pedagogical design, mirroring natural learning cycles. You begin with a period of self-assessment and foundational skill development, strategically building your linguistic toolkit. You then transition into intensive active use and practice, where the rubber truly meets the road. And finally, you conclude with consolidation and a powerful push towards performance, allowing you to gauge your progress and solidify what you've learned. This structured, step-by-step progression ensures that you're not just piling on tasks, but systematically building competence and confidence in a logical and highly effective manner.
Okay, let's unpack this initial kickstart phase, days 1 through 3. This is all about building a robust foundation, getting you ready for takeoff. The primary goal here is twofold. First, to activate any passive English knowledge you might already have tucked away, and second, and crucially, to identify your current weak points, so you can target your efforts with laser-like precision.
Right. This initial phase is invaluable for establishing self-awareness and creating a clear baseline. Imagine starting a construction project without surveying the land or assessing existing structures. You'd be building blind. Without knowing exactly where you're starting from your current strengths and, more importantly, your specific areas for improvement, it becomes nearly impossible to efficiently allocate your study time or accurately measure your progress. This phase is essentially your diagnostic tool, ensuring every subsequent effort is strategic and impactful.
So the first activity, fittingly, is assess your level. You're encouraged to take an online placement test, perhaps from reputable institutions like Cambridge or the British Council. This isn't just about getting a score. It's a powerful diagnostic tool that reveals where you stand in terms of grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, or even just confidence.
This truly raises an important question for any learner. How can you possibly improve effectively if you don't even know where you're starting from? This step provides that crucial baseline. It helps you pinpoint exactly where your efforts will yield the greatest returns. For instance, if the test reveals you have strong vocabulary but maybe struggle with verb tenses, you know precisely where to focus your initial grammar review. It's kind of like a doctor taking a patient's vital signs and running tests before prescribing a tailored treatment plan. It ensures your learning is focused and personalized from day one.
Makes sense. Once you have that initial diagnosis, you move right into essential grammar review. The focus here is not on obscure academic rules, but on the absolute core grammar points that form the backbone of everyday communication. We're talking about foundational elements like the main tenses past, present, and future, the correct usage of articles such as a and the, common prepositions like in, on, and at, and the fundamental English sentence structure, often remembered as SVO, subject, verb, object.
And the emphasis here is squarely on the building blocks, the structures you will utilize constantly in daily conversation and writing. For instance, understanding SVO isn't just a rule, it's the fundamental order that allows for clear communication in English, unlike, say, languages with more flexible word order. Resources like Grammarly, EnglishGrammar.org, or Raymond Murphy's English Grammar in Use are specifically recommended because they excel at clarifying these foundational elements.
Yeah, Murphy's is a classic, right?
Absolutely. Grammarly, for example, offers instant context-aware feedback on your writing, helping you identify and correct common grammatical errors in real time. EnglishGrammar.org provides targeted, bite-sized exercises for specific rules, perfect for quick drills. And Murphy's book, often called the Bible for English learners, is just fantastic for its exceptionally clear explanations and abundant practice activities. It's ideal for self-study and really solidifying your understanding. These tools ensure you're not just memorizing, but truly grasping the function of each grammatical point.
Exactly. No need to become a grammar guru or a linguist in 3 days. Just get the scaffolding strong and stable so you have a solid structure to build upon. Hand in hand with grammar, vocabulary building is a major focus right from the start. The plan is ambitious but achievable. Learn 20 to 30 new words daily, concentrating on highly practical and relevant categories like daily life, emotions, business, or travel.
What's particularly powerful here is the dual focus on high-frequency, relevant vocabulary and leveraging technology for efficient learning. The recommendation to use spaced repetition apps like Anki, Quizlet, or Memrise is absolutely key. These apps aren't just flashcard programs, they're intelligent learning systems. They use an algorithm that tracks your memory and shows you words just before you're about to forget them, optimizing review intervals and dramatically improving long-term retention compared to traditional rote memorization.
Okay, and that's the spaced repetition again.
Exactly. And thematic learning, focusing on categories, also plays a crucial cognitive role. It helps create mental frameworks and associations, making new words easier to recall and use in appropriate contexts. For instance, learning all the words related to travel together, passport, luggage, customs, boarding pass, creates a web of interconnected knowledge that's much more robust than learning isolated words.
And while you're diligently building that knowledge base, you also need to actively train your ear to understand spoken English.
Yeah.
So listening practice for at least 30 minutes a day is crucial. The advice is to start by watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts at a slow speed initially, resisting the urge to jump straight into fast-paced native content.
Yeah, the emphasis on starting at a slow speed is a brilliant, empathetic strategy. It's about building your listening muscle without overwhelming your cognitive load. If you start too fast, you risk becoming discouraged because you just can't keep up. By beginning with slower, clearer content, you allow your brain to attune to the sounds, rhythms, and intonation of English, giving you the space to process individual words and grasp the overall meaning without panic. Resources like BBC Learning English, Speak English with Mr. Duncan, and The English We Speak are exceptional starting points precisely because they are often tailored for learners. They offer clear, deliberate speech, simplified topics, and frequently provide transcripts to aid comprehension. This gradual approach builds confidence and a solid foundation for more complex listening later on.
So don't overwhelm yourself trying to understand every single word from a rapid-fire news report on day one. It's about carefully building that listening muscle over time. Finally, for this kickstart phase, we have dedicated speaking practice. This involves 2 core activities: reading aloud for 15 to 20 minutes a day and actively employing the shadowing technique.
Reading aloud serves multiple purposes. It helps bridge the gap between the visual representation of words on a page and their spoken form, improving both pronunciation and natural rhythm. You're consciously engaging your vocal apparatus with English sounds. The shadowing technique, however, is particularly powerful and I think often underutilized. It involves mimicking native speakers' tone, rhythm, and pronunciation almost simultaneously as they speak, like an echo.
Like literally speaking along with them.
Pretty much, yeah. This isn't just imitation, it's active physical vocal training. If we connect this to the bigger picture, shadowing primes your mouth and tongue for English sounds, builds muscle memory for intonation patterns, and helps you internalize the natural flow of spoken English. It's an incredibly effective way to refine your accent and speech melody even without a conversation partner. You're training your entire vocal system to produce English more naturally, reducing hesitation and making your speech more fluid.
Right. After those first 3 days of building a rock-solid foundation, we now shift into phase 2. Days 4 through 7. This is what the source material aptly calls the growth phase. And the overarching goal here is to significantly improve your speaking fluency, deepen your comprehension, and refine your sentence construction skills. This is where you really start to feel that upward swing in your abilities.
This phase truly marks a crucial transition. We're moving beyond simply activating passive knowledge and shoring up the basics to actively developing core productive skills. It's where the learner begins to truly experiment with the language, shifting from mere recognition of grammar and vocabulary to the active, generative process of producing complex thoughts and expressions.
And first up, and critically important for this phase, is dedicated speaking practice. 1 full hour a day. Wow, an hour. The plan suggests practicing with dynamic apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky, which connect you with language partners. But it also adds a really insightful self-directed tip. Record yourself speaking on various topics, whether simply narrating your day, describing your hobbies, or expressing your opinions. And then crucially, use speech-to-text apps to check your pronunciation.
What's genuinely fascinating here is the seamless integration of authentic interaction with powerful self-correction mechanisms. Engaging with language partners on apps like HelloTalk or Tandem provides invaluable, authentic, real-time interaction. You're negotiating meaning, asking questions, responding spontaneously, all vital for building conversational fluency and, just as importantly, confidence. Then, the act of recording yourself speaking offers an incredibly powerful, objective self-correction tool. When you listen back, you become acutely aware of your own errors in grammar, vocabulary choice, or pronunciation that you might completely miss in the moment of speaking. It's like watching an instant replay of your own performance.
That sounds potentially painful but useful.
It can be, but it's incredibly useful. Using speech-to-text apps further externalizes this feedback, allowing you to visually see how accurately your spoken words are being interpreted by technology. If the app types "I like pie" instead of "I like play," you have tangible evidence that your vowel sound or consonant cluster needs refinement. It's immediate, precise feedback that allows you to fine-tune your pronunciation with remarkable efficiency.
It's almost like having a personal speech coach and grammar checker in your pocket, constantly refining your output. Moving on. For listening and comprehension, the strategy here is both engaging and effective. Watch a short episode of a popular English series. Think beloved shows like Friends, The Office, or How I Met Your Mother. The key is a two-step process. Watch with subtitles on Gen first, then rewatch the same episode with the subtitles O off F. It also suggests trying TED Talks or YouTube Shorts for both vocabulary acquisition and comprehension. Who knew binge watching could be such a productive learning strategy?
Well, this multi-stage approach to listening is incredibly effective because it leverages your brain's natural learning mechanisms. Watching with subtitles first allows you to connect the spoken word with its written form. This activates both auditory and visual processing, significantly enhancing comprehension and facilitating vocabulary acquisition, especially for idioms and colloquialisms found in popular shows. When you then rewatch the same episode without subtitles, your brain is already primed. It's familiar with the context, the plot, and has a memory trace of some of the language. This pushes you to rely purely on auditory input. It actively trains your ear to distinguish sounds, recognize words from context, and grasp meaning more naturally, just as a native speaker would.
So it's like taking the training wheels off.
Exactly. TED Talks and YouTube Shorts are excellent complementary choices because they often cover a diverse range of topics, providing rich, authentic vocabulary in various contexts, and crucially, they can be consumed in manageable, focused segments without the commitment of a full series episode.
That progression from supported listening to independent listening is brilliant. It gradually weans you off the crutch of text. Next, for 30 minutes a day, you're strongly encouraged to engage in writing practice. This means keeping a daily journal where you jot down your thoughts in English, or trying to write small, structured essays, maybe 100 to 150 words, on simple, accessible topics like my favorite movie or social media pros and cons. The consistent recommendation for feedback here, again, is Grammarly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, writing is an incredibly powerful tool for solidifying both grammar and vocabulary, and critically, for developing coherent thought in English. It's a slower, more deliberate process than speaking, which gives your brain the time to reflect on sentence structure, word choice, and grammatical accuracy without the pressure of real-time conversation. It forces you to organize your thoughts logically in the target language, often revealing gaps in both your vocabulary and your understanding of grammar that might not be apparent during faster-paced speaking. Tools like Grammarly are invaluable here because they provide instant, constructive feedback on spelling, grammar, punctuation, and even style. This immediate feedback loop helps you identify and correct errors in real time, thereby cementing your understanding of English rules and conventions, leading to significantly improved accuracy and coherence in your written expression.
So it's not just about getting words on paper, but actively refining your expression, consciously shaping your thoughts in English. And finally, in this growth phase, we have grammar and context. This approach emphasizes learning grammar through its real living usage, rather than just through isolated abstract rules and drills.
This is a crucial distinction from traditional, often tedious grammar instruction. Instead of merely memorizing conjugation tables or abstract rules that feel disconnected from actual communication, you're engaging with grammar as it naturally appears in sentences, conversations, and engaging content. Apps like Duolingo, BBC Learning English, or LingQ are ideal for this because they present grammar within practical, relatable scenarios and interactive exercises. For example, instead of just memorizing the past simple tense, you'd encounter it in a story about someone's day yesterday, allowing you to infer its usage and internalize the pattern. This method helps you integrate grammar patterns more intuitively, making them much more accessible for spontaneous use. You're not consciously recalling a rule every time you construct a sentence. Instead, the grammar becomes an intuitive part of your linguistic system.
It's about seeing how the language lives and breathes in everyday communication, fostering an organic understanding rather than a purely academic one.
Exactly, much more natural.
Now we're moving into phase 3, days 8 through 12. This is what the source calls the active usage phase, and here's where it gets really interesting. The goal is to decisively move from simply knowing the language to actively using it, transitioning to true fluency by engaging with English in real contexts. This is all about making English second nature, feeling it flow.
Yeah, this phase represents a critical pivot point in the 15-day journey. It's where the learner consciously transitions from structured, often guided practice to more spontaneous, real-world application. This is where you push past the comfort zone, where the theoretical becomes practical, and you truly begin to embed the language into your daily interactions and thought processes. It's really about building confidence through consistent active use.
And the primary activity here, reinforcing that core output-input principle, is simply to speak, speak, speak. The plan suggests joining online conversation clubs like Toastmasters or various Reddit English discords, and making sure you have daily speaking sessions with language partners or professional tutors through platforms like italki or Cambly.
And this raises an important question that many learners grapple with. How do we effectively push past the inherent hesitation and, the fear of speaking? This phase strategically creates structured opportunities for precisely that. Consistent, real-time spoken interaction is absolutely vital for building confidence, for reducing that often agonizing thinking time between formulating a thought in your head and actually articulating it in English, and for achieving automaticity. Platforms like italki and Cambly connect you with professional tutors who can provide personalized feedback and guided conversation, ensuring you're corrected and encouraged.
So professional help if you need it.
Right. Toastmasters, while focused on public speaking, can be incredibly beneficial for structured conversation and presentation skills. Reddit English discords offer a more casual, peer-to-peer environment. These diverse avenues ensure a constant stream of speaking opportunities, which is paramount for developing not just accuracy, but also the fluency that comes from repeated, active engagement. The more you speak, the more natural and effortless it becomes.
That's powerful, making speaking a non-negotiable daily habit. Following that, you're strongly encouraged to practice real-life scenarios. This means actively rehearsing English in various practical contexts through role-playing. Think about ordering food at a restaurant, confidently introducing yourself professionally at a networking event, giving clear directions to someone, or even role-playing common interview questions.
This activity is about consciously bridging the gap between classroom learning and practical everyday application. By actively simulating these real-life scenarios, you're not just practicing vocabulary or grammar in isolation, you're rehearsing entire conversational flows, anticipating potential questions, and formulating appropriate, contextually relevant responses. It's a form of mental and verbal rehearsal that builds incredible confidence.
Like practicing before the real game.
Exactly. For instance, practicing an interview scenario allows you to anticipate common questions and craft articulate answers in English, reducing the anxiety of a real interview. These simulated experiences make you much more prepared, articulate, and confident when you inevitably encounter these situations in actual life. Practice makes perfect, even if your fancy restaurant is indeed your kitchen table and your networking event is just you talking to yourself in the mirror.
I can just imagine our listeners perfecting their coffee order or job interview answers in their living rooms. Next up is a really challenging but incredibly effective activity that truly accelerates fluency, the No Native Language Challenge. For a designated period of 1 to 2 hours a day, you consciously choose to only use English. This means not just speaking it, but actively thinking in English. Narrate your actions in English, little internal monologues like, I'm brushing my teeth now, I need to check my phone for the weather, then I'll make breakfast.
What's truly fascinating and profoundly impactful here is how this challenge pushes you beyond just external speaking into internalizing and processing thoughts directly in English. This thinking in English significantly reduces your reliance on translating from your native language, which is one of the major barriers to achieving genuine fluency and speed. When you translate, you're adding an extra time-consuming step to your cognitive process. By narrating your actions, internalizing your thoughts, and maybe even trying to dream in English, you're training your brain to operate primarily in the target language. You're building direct cognitive links between concepts and English words rather than routing everything through your native tongue. This process dramatically accelerates your speed, spontaneity, and overall fluency, making English feel much more natural and immediate. It's like a complete rewiring of your linguistic processing.
That sounds like a huge, almost psychological leap towards true fluency right there. Finally, for this active usage phase, you level up your listening with advanced listening. This involves moving to more complex and authentic podcasts, such as Luke's English Podcast or the English Coach Podcast, or engaging with reputable news sources like NPR or BBC. And then, for an added layer of challenge and active engagement, try to summarize what you hear in just 3 or 4 concise sentences.
This activity brilliantly combines advanced comprehension with active production, pushing both receptive and productive skills. Listening to authentic news and specialized podcasts exposes you to a wider range of nuanced vocabulary, more complex grammatical structures, and the natural, often rapid pace of native speech. This is where your ear truly gets tuned to real-world English. The summarization task then forces you to actively process that complex information, distill its essence, extract the key points, and then articulate them concisely and coherently in your own English words. This isn't just passive listening, it's active engagement with the content. It enhances not only your understanding of advanced topics, but also your ability to express complex ideas succinctly and accurately, demonstrating true comprehension and linguistic mastery.
Okay, let's unpack these final critical steps in Phase 4, days 13 through 15. This is what the source calls the performance phase. It's all about pushing yourself to perform in English under real conditions and perhaps most satisfyingly, seeing just how far you've truly come. It's a fantastic opportunity for showcasing and solidifying all your incredible gains.
Yeah, this concluding phase is strategically designed not just as a finish line, but as a robust platform for consolidation and insightful self-assessment. It allows you to objectively gauge your progress, identify specific areas that still warrant refinement, and perhaps most importantly, to build a concrete strategy for continued growth beyond the initial 15 days. It's truly a launchpad for sustained learning.
First up, you're tasked with conducting a mock speaking test. This means recording a short, focused 3 to 5 minute talk on a specific, perhaps slightly argumentative topic, something like, should schools ban homework? Or what's the biggest challenge facing young people today? Then, critically, you listen back to your own recording and objectively evaluate your grammar, your pronunciation, and the overall coherence and flow of your argument.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this isn't just a test, it's a powerful diagnostic tool for continued growth. By recording yourself and then engaging in that rigorous self-assessment under a simulated pressure scenario, you're developing crucial meta-linguistic awareness. You're moving beyond merely speaking to actively analyzing your own output. Identifying specific speech patterns, recurring grammatical errors, or pronunciation challenges that might have previously gone unnoticed. For example, you might realize you consistently mispronounce a certain vowel sound, or maybe overuse a particular filler word like or like. This process helps turn your performance into actionable data, providing clear targets for future, focused improvement long after the 15 days are over. It's about self-coaching and becoming your own best linguistic detective.
That self-feedback loop is absolutely invaluable for pinpointing weaknesses and celebrating strengths. Following that, there's timed writing. You challenge yourself to write under pressure, perhaps for a strict 15 minutes, to describe a complex picture or respond to a specific question, just like you might in an exam or a quick email at work. The focus here is rigorously on coherence, structure, and grammatical accuracy. This is where your speed and accuracy really get a workout.
Just like the mock speaking test, timed writing skillfully simulates real-world demands, whether it's an academic exam, a quick professional email, or maybe a concise report. This exercise pushes you to think and compose in English efficiently, minimizing excessive hesitation or mental translation. The intense focus on coherence, making sure your ideas flow logically, and grammar under pressure, helps to solidify your ability to construct well-formed, logical sentences and paragraphs within a limited time frame. It's a true test of your ability to quickly retrieve appropriate vocabulary and apply grammatical rules spontaneously and accurately, demonstrating not just knowledge, but active functional mastery.
It's all about making that knowledge readily accessible and fluent under pressure. And then, a truly important and often overlooked activity: reflection and correction. You're strongly encouraged to revisit your very first recordings and writings from day 1 and compare them side by side to your current output from day 13 or 14.
What's truly fascinating and profoundly motivating here is the metacognition involved actively reflecting on your own learning journey and concretely charting your progress. This comparative analysis provides an incredible psychological boost as you can tangibly see and hear the improvements you've made. Perhaps your sentences are longer now, your vocabulary richer, or your pronunciation clearer. More importantly, it helps you identify the specific areas that still require attention. This allows you to make targeted corrections and refine your learning strategy moving forward. It grounds your future learning in concrete, undeniable evidence of your own development, preventing that feeling of, am I even getting better?
Seeing and hearing that progress is an incredibly powerful motivator. And finally, the very last activity, which arguably might be the most crucial step of all: create an English routine. The plan stresses that after these 15 intensive days, you absolutely, under no circumstances, should stop. Instead, you need to deliberately build a sustainable, long-term routine that integrates English into your daily life. This could be something manageable, like 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of listening, 15 minutes of speaking, and 15 minutes of writing daily. So what does this all mean for you? It means the real, sustained journey begins after day 15.
This final activity underscores a fundamental truth. The 15 days are a boost, a powerful, intense acceleration of your learning, not an endpoint. Language learning is inherently a lifelong endeavor, and sustained, consistent practice is the only way to not only maintain but to continue improving fluency. By establishing a balanced daily routine, you effectively integrate English into your lifestyle, ensuring continuous exposure and active engagement across all 4 key skill areas. This proactive step prevents regression, leverages the strong foundation and momentum generated during the intensive 15-day period, and transforms learning English from a temporary task into an enriching, permanent part of your daily life.
That structured plan is incredibly comprehensive and truly exciting. But to truly turbocharge your English learning, to make this 15-day boost not just possible, but highly effective and efficient, you absolutely need the right tools in your hands. So before we wrap up, let's dive into that incredible toolkit.
Yeah, this section is absolutely vital because it's about empowering you, the learner, with the most effective instruments for each specific skill. Leveraging the right technology and specialized resources can significantly amplify your learning efficiency, ensuring that every effort you make is channeled directly towards maximum impact and no time is wasted. It's really about working smarter, not just harder.
For vocabulary tools, the source highlights Anki, Quizlet, and Memrise. We've touched on them, but can you remind us why these apps are so fantastic for vocabulary retention?
Absolutely. These applications are all built around the powerful principle of spaced repetition, which we discussed earlier. They go far beyond simple digital flashcards. Their sophisticated algorithms meticulously track your memory performance for each word, then intelligently schedule reviews just before you're likely to forget them. This optimized timing dramatically improves long-term retention compared to traditional rote memorization. They transform the often tedious task of vocabulary acquisition into an engaging, highly efficient process, ensuring that those 20-30 new words you aim to learn daily truly stick and become part of your active vocabulary, rather than just fleeting memories.
And for grammar tools, we're looking at Grammarly, EnglishGrammar.org, and that classic Raymond Murphy's English Grammar in Use book. How do these resources cater to different needs?
These resources offer a comprehensive approach to grammar, catering to diverse learning styles and specific needs. Grammarly is invaluable for practical application, providing real-time digital correction and insightful suggestions for improving your writing as you compose, making it perfect for immediate, in-context feedback. EnglishGrammar.org is an excellent online resource for targeted practice, offering a plethora of exercises and clear explanations for specific grammar points, which is ideal for shoring up those foundational areas identified in Phase 1. And Raymond Murphy's English Grammar in Use is widely considered a staple, a comprehensive, self-study textbook renowned for its exceptionally clear explanations, numerous examples, and abundant practice activities that reinforce understanding across all levels. It offers a both theoretical understanding and practical application in a structured format.
Then we have the crucial speaking tools, which include platforms like Cambly, iTalki, HelloTalk, and of course leveraging shadowing YouTube videos. This offers a fantastic range of options from structured tutoring to peer-to-peer practice.
This diverse range of tools offers multiple flexible avenues for spoken practice, acknowledging that different learners have different comfort levels and needs. Cambly and iTalki connect you with professional tutors for structured lessons, personalized feedback, and guided conversations, which is incredibly beneficial for targeted improvement and building confidence. HelloTalk facilitates peer-to-peer language exchange, allowing for more casual, authentic interactions with native speakers from around the world, fostering real-time communication skills. And shadowing videos, as we detailed earlier, are exceptional for refining pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm by allowing you to directly mimic native speech, training your vocal muscles without the pressure of a live conversation. This variety ensures you can find a speaking partner or method that perfectly fits your comfort level, schedule, and learning goals.
It's great to have so many accessible options to get those vocal cords working. For listening tools, the recommendations are TED Talks, BBC Learning English, and of course Netflix with English subtitles.
These resources provide a well-rounded spectrum of listening experiences that align perfectly with the gradual increase in listening difficulty embedded throughout the 15-day plan. BBC Learning English offers materials specifically designed for language learners, often featuring slower speech, explanations, and accompanying transcripts, ideal for building that foundational listening muscle. TED Talks expose you to a wide array of fascinating topics delivered by expert speakers, often with the benefit of transcripts, expanding your vocabulary and intellectual engagement. And Netflix, with English subtitles, allows for highly engaging, immersive listening practice with popular culture, enabling that crucial on and off subtitle strategy we discussed for improving comprehension and training your ear to natural idiomatic speech.
And finally, to really polish up your written English, the recommended writing tools include Grammarly, LangCorrect, and Write and Improve by Cambridge.
These tools collectively provide powerful mechanisms for instant feedback and structured writing practice, accelerating your progress in written accuracy and expression. Grammarly remains a staple for immediate feedback on grammar, spelling, punctuation, and even stylistic suggestions. LangCorrect is a community-driven platform where native speakers can correct your written work, providing invaluable, authentic human feedback and insights into natural phrasing and common errors. And Write and Improve by Cambridge offers automated feedback on your writing, designed by language experts, guiding you through various writing tasks and helping you refine your skills systematically. Together, they create a comprehensive ecosystem for developing strong, accurate, and coherent written English.
Beyond the structured plan and that fantastic toolkit we've just discussed, there are some golden nuggets of wisdom, some final tips that are absolutely essential to keep in mind, always. These are the enduring strategies that will help you not just complete the 15 days, but sustain your momentum and truly thrive on your English journey long term.
Exactly. These final tips are about cultivating a continuous learning mindset and optimizing your approach for long-term success. They are designed to help you embed English seamlessly into your daily life, transforming it from a mere subject of study into an organic, living part of your existence, far beyond just the structured study sessions.
The first tip builds directly on that powerful no native language challenge we mentioned earlier. Speak to yourself in English as much as possible. This isn't just about external practice, is it?
No, it's profoundly about internalizing the language. By consciously maintaining an internal monologue in English, narrating your thoughts as you perform tasks, planning your day, or even just describing objects around you to yourself, you are constantly activating English pathways in your brain in a low-pressure environment. This consistent mental engagement rapidly develops natural thought patterns in English, significantly reducing your reliance on mental translation. It makes English more immediate and spontaneous. It's continuous, personalized, and completely free practice that you can do anywhere, anytime, without fear of judgment. It's truly a powerful accelerator for fluency because it trains your brain to think directly in English.
That makes perfect sense. It's a constant, silent mental practice that builds confidence. Next, a tip that focuses on efficiency in vocabulary acquisition. Don't memorize associative vocabulary with images or emotions.
This tip speaks to a more scientifically effective way of acquiring and, crucially, retaining vocabulary. Rote memorization, simply repeating a word and its translation, can be fleeting and quickly forgotten. By contrast, when you associate new English words with vivid mental images, strong personal emotions, or specific memorable contexts, you create stronger, more elaborate memory traces in your brain. For instance, instead of just memorizing arduous means difficult, picture yourself climbing a steep mountain, feeling the strain, associating that feeling with the word. This makes words much stickier and significantly more accessible during spontaneous recall. It connects the new word directly to its meaning and context in a meaningful way, rather than just a dry intellectual translation.
I can definitely see how that would make words easier to remember and more readily available during conversation. Another incredibly motivational and practical tip is to record your progress using videos of your speaking, audio recordings, and keeping a consistent journal.
This links back powerfully to the reflection phase and is absolutely crucial for sustained motivation and targeted improvement. Having tangible evidence of your improvement, listening back to an earlier recording from day one, and genuinely hearing how much better your pronunciation, fluency, or vocabulary has become, or rereading an old journal entry and noting your expanded grammatical structures provides an undeniable psychological boost. It transforms abstract effort into concrete, visible progress. More importantly, it allows you to pinpoint specific areas where you've made significant gains and, equally important, to identify areas that still need more focused work, grounding your learning strategy in real, measurable evidence.
Seeing is believing, or in this case, hearing and reading your own improvement. A simple but incredibly effective tip for passive immersion. Use sticky notes around your house with English words.
This is a classic, wonderfully low-tech, yet highly effective immersion strategy. By placing sticky notes with the English names for objects or common action verbs in relevant places around your home, say, refrigerator on the fridge, switch on the light switch, or read on your book, you're creating constant passive exposure. Every time you see that note, you're subconsciously reinforcing the vocabulary. It's an effortless way to keep English constantly top of mind, integrating new words into your daily environment without requiring dedicated study time, slowly but surely building your contextual vocabulary.
It's a subtle but powerful way to keep English at the forefront of your awareness. And finally, a very important piece of advice that addresses a common and often debilitating anxiety for language learners. Focus on clarity, not accent.
This raises an absolutely fundamental question. What is the ultimate goal of language learning? It is, unequivocally, effective communication. And for effective communication, clarity is paramount. Many learners get overly concerned, almost obsessed, with trying to eliminate their native accent and sound exactly native, which can be incredibly discouraging, often unattainable in a short period, and ultimately a significant barrier to speaking freely. The focus should always be on being understood clearly and conveying your message effectively. While intonation and rhythm are important for natural flow and can be practiced, a slight accent is perfectly acceptable, even charming, and often a marker of your unique linguistic journey. Prioritizing clear pronunciation and effective communication over striving for perfect native mimicry dramatically reduces anxiety, encourages much more consistent speaking practice, and allows you to enjoy the process of sharing your thoughts in English.
What an incredible journey we've mapped out today. The 15-day English Fluency Boost offers a truly transformative blueprint for rapidly and effectively improving your English skills. We've meticulously unpacked everything from those crucial mindset shifts, embracing consistency, immersion, output, and mistakes, to a detailed, phased plan of action across 15 intensive days. We've also equipped you with an indispensable toolkit of resources and shared those golden nuggets of wisdom to help you sustain your momentum far beyond the initial boost. It's clear that with focused, consistent effort and the right strategic approach, a significant and tangible boost in your vocabulary, speaking confidence, listening comprehension, and grammar basics is absolutely within your reach in just 2 weeks.
You now hold in your hands not just a collection of tips, but a meticulously designed blueprint to not merely improve, but to truly accelerate your English learning journey. The sources we've explored provide a clear, actionable pathway, emphasizing that methodical practice, coupled with the right mindset and strategic resource utilization, can yield truly substantial results in a remarkably concentrated period. This isn't just about learning English, it's about optimizing your entire learning process, making it smarter, faster, and far more effective.
And as you embark on, or simply consider, this intensive dive into boosting your English, remember that every language learned is quite literally a new world opened. It's more than just mastering words and grammar. It's about unlocking new cultures, forging new connections, accessing new information, and gaining entirely new perspectives on the world. What new opportunities, what profound insights, and what exciting personal transformations will your boosted English unlock for you in the next 15 days, and perhaps more importantly, in the many, many years that lie beyond. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into accelerating your English fluency. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep speaking.